Hi, I'm Joe Sixpack, beer reporter for the Philadelphia Daily News, and welcome to the best beer drinking city in America. We're going to visit some of my favorite taverns around town, and we'll start things off here in Old City. This is a section known mainly for its history, but in reality, this place is just teeming with great bars and taverns, terrific beers. I think I counted more than 150 tap handles serving the best ales and lagers in the world. Join me. Three blocks back that way, you're going to find Independence Hall and the Liberty Bell, the very birthplace of America. But you're going to get thirsty after visiting them, so you should make your way down here to 2nd and Chestnut, where you'll find such spots as Buffalo Billiards, Eulogy Belgian Tavern, Brownies, and this place, Triumph Brewing Company, Old City's only brew pub. Let's hop in and meet the brewer. Colonial days, many taverns, including Philadelphia's famous Tun Tavern, made their own beer. This award-winning brew pub follows that same tradition with a great lineup of ales and lagers. I'm here with brewmaster Patrick Jones. Let's talk beer now. Tell me a little bit about Triumph Brewing.
We opened up in April of '07. The batch size we have is a 15-barrel system. We brew 1 to 2 times a week, depending on the season. We offer an eclectic menu of both ales and lagers that come from the major brewing countries of the world, whether it's American, Belgian, English, or Germany.
This brew pub's known for its lagers, though.
Absolutely.
What's the difference between an ale and a lager?
It's basically the yeast that you employ and the temperature in which the yeast works. Lagers are bottom fermenting beers, usually done somewhere around 50 degrees. Ales are top fermenting beers, somewhere around 70 degrees.
And the taste is a little bit different, too, between an ale and a lager.
Right. Lagers in general usually are much more crisp and clean. Ales, on the other hand, can be a little fruitier in addition to whatever malt and hops you happen to use in your brew.
Tell me, what is really a brew pub? Why do we like brew pub beers?
It's probably because of the freshness of the beer, regardless of what styles that they carry. They usually make them in such small quantities. And the popularity of brew pubs nowadays mean that the speed in which you would be able to consume that beer would be relatively quickly. So they constantly make new batches all the time. So the freshness of the beer is one of the keys to brew pubs.
Well, that's the great thing about coming to a brew pub. I mean, normally you go and you get your beer out of a tap handle and it's from a keg that might have been shipped across the country or across the Atlantic, but here's the beer right here in these big tanks.
Absolutely.
We know it was made right here.
Mm-hmm.
Patrick, I'm curious about all these styles we've got here. Let's pick one here, the Rogenbach. It looks really interesting. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Absolutely. Rogen means rye in German. The beer has obviously rye in it, in malted and flaked form. We also use malt vinegar, lactic acid, and caraway seeds. And it gives a flavor that's very reminiscent of what you would get in marble bread.
It's funny to hear malt vinegar in a beer. You might turn your nose up at that, but this is not a sour, tart beer. It's a nice, very drinkable beer. Mm-hmm. Hey, Patrick, thanks a lot for telling us all about your beer.
Oh, you're welcome.
Cheers.
Anytime.
One of the things I like about Old City is its hidden gems. This is Benelux on 3rd Street, directly across from Ben Franklin's old house. It's a Belgian tasting room where they serve a wide variety of great Belgian ales in these really cool little beakers. I just love these. Benelux serves an amazing 40 different beers on tap. And for those of you who insist on drinking the red stuff, 50 different wines. Say, Mike, what are we drinking here?
Don, we're having Cantillon St. Lambinas, which is a blend of beer and wine together.
It's a totally unique beer. It's got this sour taste to it that has the bit of fruit in it.
Yeah, that's something that's unique about the Belgians, in that pretty much anything goes in Belgium. And in this case, we have a spontaneous fermentation beer blended in with grapes and fermented together.
Benelux takes a lot of care in matching its fine selection of ales with a variety of foods, cheese, and chocolate. What's the story with the chocolates, Mike?
Well, as you know, Don, when we brew beer, we start with a sweet wort, a malt, a cereal grain. And that replicates what we have in chocolates, such as the white chocolate or the milk chocolate that we're accustomed to. But also in beer, we add hops, which is bitter. And when you get in the more sophisticated chocolate, they have a higher cocoa content and more bitterness. So we tried to pair up the sweeter beers with the sweeter chocolates and the more bitter beers with the more bitter chocolates.
nice thing about it is the way that the chocolate coats your tongue, and then you drink an ale and it washes right over it, and the mix of flavors is wonderful.
Yeah, it's a great way to cleanse your palate.
Well, it's a great variety, as I said, and one of the other things that I like about it are these little beakers. Can you explain what's going on with these?
Well, we call ourselves a subterranean exploration of beer, cheese, chocolate, and wine. And what better for an exploration than an old science class beaker for small taste?
Now you buy beer here, you order beer here by the ounce.
Yes, you can order by the ounce, and we have table rinsers that allow you to rinse out your glass and pour in your next ounce after each time rather than get a new glass.
So with 40 different beers, you can taste quite a different number of beers in one sitting.
Yes, as opposed to having to drink 12 ounces at a time. It's perfect.
That's why I love this place. It's a great way to explore one of the great nations of brewing. A must stop in Old City is the Khyber. Now this place has a great reputation for its live music scene, but I come here for the beer and the history. 200 years ago, our forefathers raised glasses in Old City's taverns and wrote the Declaration of Independence. The Khyber dates back to the 19th century. That back bar there was built for the 1876 Philadelphia Centennial Exposition. You can't help but taste and feel the history. These days, the Khyber is known for the guys behind the bar. Let's talk to one of them a little bit about the current scene, Paul Havlin. Paul, tell me a little bit about the Khyber.
It's a live music venue. It's been around for years. We have a lot of bands coming through here, local, national, international, you know, everybody from the White Stripes to the Strokes to Iggy Pop has played here, and it's a great scene that goes hand in hand with a great local beer scene as well.
Yeah, that's the amazing thing is that, you know, it really does have a reputation as a great music place, but you get inside here and you can be listening to great music and drinking really, really good beer. Now, though, it's known for a really good draft beer selection.
Yeah, we have 12 beers on draft. We stick local, you know, and have a lot of West Coast beers. You know, we go a lot of European stuff. You know, Hoegaarden is a huge seller for us.
And of course, you have the local beers as well.
Absolutely. Trogs is a giant seller for us. Yards, of course. Stouts, Fly Fox, always a big crowd pleaser.
This bar, as I said, has a really great history, but word is it opened up completely through the Prohibition.
The window in the front was put in during Prohibition, you know, to sort of as a front. Probably had all the fun going on back here with a little door with a secret knock, and you know, the booze kept flowing.
The fun continues. We've been drinking continuously here for well over, I guess, 150 years or so.
Hopefully 150 more.
Paul, thanks a lot for having me over.
No problem. Thank you for stopping by.
Okay, cheers.
All right. Cheers.